you how to do a simple, easy Halloween look with your nails. But the first thing I want to do is I want to put some cuticle oil just around my cuticles. So I'm going to give that a little shake. I'm sorry the leg to my light is in the frame. I can't get it out though. And we're just going to go around and rub that around our cuticle there. Thumb. And I always just do one hand at a time. So next you're going to take your cuticle scraper. And you want to be gentle with this, especially if you're using a metal one. Because like I said, if you dig too hard, you're going to dig right into your nail itself. And we don't want to dig into the nail. We just want to gently push back the cuticles. So what I do is I rub this in. And if you don't have cuticle oil, you can just soak your nails in some water for a little bit. Like do it in the sink if you have one of these little hand soakers. You know, like when you go to the, well, it's upside down, but you know, like when you do go to the salon, you can soak them in there. Anything to get the cuticles softened, because that's going to be the easiest way to remove any dead skin that's growing up. So then you just gently push back. Now, I'm not going to have too much because I do this on a regular basis. But if this isn't something that you normally do, you might have a lot of dead skin from your cuticles growing up your nails. So you just give them a gentle rub. I always like to keep some kind of paper towel, or I have a rag that I put down to do my nails on top of, so I don't ruin whatever it is that I'm working on. Because I can be a little bit messy. And it's not on purpose. It's just, it happens sometimes. So, and notice I'm not rubbing up here. I'm just staying right down here, pushing down, making sure that any dead skin from my cuticles that's grown up is getting pushed down so it can be removed. You're probably going to go, oh, this is disgusting, but it's actually really healthy for your nails. So can you see that? I don't know if you guys can see that, how there's a little bit of dead skin on here. When you do this and you take care of your cuticles like this, it's really healthy for your nails. It helps them grow better. It helps them grow faster, longer. So you want to make sure, now if this is something you're not comfortable with doing at all, don't do it. Just skip this part altogether. But I've been practicing for years now, so I'm quite comfortable with it. As you can tell, I don't have much of anything to get rid of. I like to paint my nails like every week. I don't really do a lot of gel or dip powders or anything like that because I just love changing my nails at least every other week, if I don't do it every week. Depends on if I have the colors for what I want to do, if I had to order them, if I got to wait for some to come in. So it just depends. But if I already have everything, then I'll just paint them every week. I get bored with the same thing. So it's always a constant change for me. So once you're done with your cuticles, now we have to wash this off because you can't put nail polish on with that. But what I want to do before I wash that is I'm going to take my cuticle snippers and I'm just going to go around the edge of my nails. Now, you have to be very careful doing this. You don't want to actually cut your skin. So if you are not comfortable with this at all, I would really suggest skipping this part. This part doesn't bother me anymore because I've gotten quite used to it. But you can really cut yourself with these. And then you end up with a lot of skin. So you have a lot of dead skin that grows around your nails there. So it just helps keep them healthier. So I just go around, make sure everything's all cleaned up. And I know you're going to say, well, how am I supposed to do that with my other hand? Well, I know it's a lot easier when you're using your dominant hand to do one hand, and then you get to the other hand and you're like, well, how am I supposed to do that? So the best advice I can give you is practice. It's just all you can do is keep practicing. I am what they will call ambidextrous, so I can actually use both of my hands. I write with both of my hands. So it's not that hard for me. I don't know. I just did it one day and found out I could do it. And that was, oh my gosh, I was probably in middle school when I figured that out. And now I'm close to ready for a retirement home. So you know how long ago that was then. But yeah, I just practice. You know, I'm not YouTube famous. I'm not anything famous. I'm a normal everyday person just like you guys are. Next thing we're going to do, now that we've cleaned up our cuticles and everything, is we would need to go wash our hands, because now we've have this oil on our hands to get our cuticles all soft so we can remove them. So now we have to clean it off, because we can't put nail polish on here because the nail polish is not going to grip to the fingernail very well. So I'm going to wash my hands and then I'll be right back, and then I will show you the next steps of getting our cool French tip Halloween manicure finished here. So I will be right back. Okay, we're back. Hands all washed. They're not greasy anymore from our this is actually a vitamin E oil too. So you can even put this on after you do your nails and rub it in, because it's still really good for the nails. So the next thing I like to do, just to make sure that I don't have any grease or oil or anything on it from doing my cuticles, if I'm using a cuticle oil, or even if I'm not, I just want to make sure that my nails are clean. So I'm just going to take some regular rubbing alcohol. I'm going to take a Q-tip. I'm going to stick it on the end there and squeeze some out onto the Q-tip and get that wet a little bit. And then I'm just going to run it over my nails really quick. Make sure that I didn't get any greases or anything on it from touching my hands or anything. Maybe something in my soap that I use to wash my hands. Because that will cause your nail polish not to go on very good too. And then, you know, sometimes you're like, I just painted my nails. It's only been a day or two and they're already chipping. Well, that could be one of the reasons. But I mean, let's face it, regular nail varnish it's going to peel off fast. It's not something that's going to stay like gel or anything like that. So got my nails all cleaned off. This rubbing alcohol literally just dries within seconds. I mean, we've all used rubbing alcohol. We know how quickly that dries. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my base color, if I don't want to stain up my nails. So I'm going to have that. Now, sometimes if you have bubbling, it's because you're shaking the nail polish up too much. So I like to just swirl it a little bit like this, or rub it back and forth in my hands like this. And that helps stop get air bubbles in the polish. So when you put it on your nails, you don't end up with little bubbles in your nails. Because I've seen that happen a lot too. So now we're going to put our base coat on. And just because it's clear doesn't mean you don't have to take your time with it. You don't want this all over your skin or anything like that. Because it's going to mess up the rest of your manicure. So I start here and then I kind of wiggle down a little bit. And this is going to be a little bit harder for me to do because of the way I'm sitting, so that I can try and keep my hands in frame. And you don't want too much either. You don't want to put it on super, super thick to the point where it's spilling off on the sides of your nails. And then we're just going to put one nice thin coat over all of our nails. And see, now that we've cleaned up our cuticles, we can get down there and we have a nice clean line at the bottom of our nails. Because we got rid of all that dead skin that was sitting there. You just take your time. I would say if you don't have a good day to sit down and do your nails, and you want to actually try some really, you know, cool nail art itself, you know, I wouldn't try this. If you've got 15 minutes and you got to fly out the door, it's not going to work. Nail art is actually something that takes a little bit longer. I mean, if you're just painting your nails one flat color real quick, running out the door, I mean, yeah, you could do that. You're still going to run into the chance of smudging your nails, though. It does take quite a bit of time for them to dry. And I especially have to take a little bit longer because my anxiety makes me very shaky a lot. So I don't have quite as steady of a hand as I used to when I was much younger, and didn't have any problems with anxiety. But I'm going to get my Flintstone thumb here. I find it much easier to be able to study my other hand on something instead of trying to hold them up and do it like this, because that makes you a lot more shaky. So I find it a lot easier if I can study my hand. It's just hard to move my hand to try and stay in frame this way. Otherwise I would be doing it a little bit different. That's more comfortable for me. But once I put my base coat on, I would say to give it at least a good anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes for it to dry. So once this is dry, I'll come back and we'll see what the next step is. And for me, it's going to be 20 minutes, but for you, it's going to be milliseconds. So I will be back when my hand is all nice and dry. All right, guys, nails are dry. They're not sticky, they're not tacky. I can touch them, I can rub my hands on them, and it's not leaving any damage to them. And I already went ahead and did the other hand also, just to save time. So the next thing is, since I'm not good at freehanding, and we're doing a French tip type of a design, I like to use these little nail tip guides. They're just little stickers. I get them on Amazon. I can get a whole package of them, and they come in many different kinds of shapes. You know, you have these more round ones, you have very, very rounded ones, pointed ones. I mean, they come in tons of different designs. So however you like your French manicure tip to look, you know, that's what you would get. Or if you're really good and have a really steady hand, you can just freehand it. But I don't have that, so we're not even going to attempt that with me. So they come with the little stickers on them, and they're super easy to use. They're not hard to use at all. Sometimes they're a little hard to get off. So I just take these little pointy tweezers that I have. See how super pointy they are? And then sometimes I just got to get up underneath there and grab one to start it. So you just peel it off, and then you stick it on your nail. I'm going to try and get as close as possible so you can see. But you see how your nails have the white tip on it? Well, this is where you want the bottom of this to be, is you want it to end right where that tip is. You don't want it to be above it because, well, I mean, depending on how long your nails are, like my nails are at a length where I would want this to end right where that is. Now, if you have really, really, really long nails, I mean, you might want to go up higher. Since we're using purple and orange, you're not going to really see the white tip of your nail anyway, because the purple is going to cover that. But I take mine and I just put it right because of the length of my nails right now. I just chopped them all off a couple weeks ago, so they're much shorter than they usually are. So I just like to put it right where that ends. So I have a little bit of nail sticking up, and underneath the tape is not going to get painted either. So everything from this part down is what we're going to paint first. And typically what I do after I put the stickers on is I just like to take my little tweezers or something and just kind of run this across and make sure it's on there really good to try and help stop any of the polish from bleeding through, because it will do that sometimes, which just means a little extra cleanup. But once I get them started, they're pretty easy to peel off after that. And then I just go ahead and I get one whole hand done at a time. And I'm sorry if my head is getting in here and you don't want to see it. But I have to see what I'm doing too. So please forgive me. But I just want to get these all on there. You want to try and make sure you get them on as straight as possible. See how bad my hand shakes with my anxiety? It's not fun sometimes. Two more fingers. Now this one's gonna be a little bit shorter because I broke this a couple days ago. So I'm gonna go down a little bit further because I wanted to try and be a little similar to the other nails as much as possible. Just like my thumb. I broke my thumbnail the other day too. So instead of starting the bottom of the sticker at the white of my nail, I'm going to start the top of the sticker there to try and hopefully make sure that it matches up. Not very straight with the rest of them. That's a little better, I guess. Sometimes it's difficult to get them where you want them. And then I'm just going to make sure that I've got them nice and smoothed down. So I can try and make sure I don't have any bleeding up underneath, because orange is a little lighter than purple. Purple is a dominant color, so if you do have bleeding, it's going to be a little harder to just cover it with another nail polish that's lighter. And these are just so much easier too, the nail stickers. They're so much easier. You can use regular tape. You can use some of this tape. This is nail tape too. You can use this to make designs. A lot of people use this. They put it on and then just paint over it and makes designs. And it comes in gazillions of colors. I probably have about 50 of these. And what I do is I put them on an empty tape roll so that I can pull them off like a piece of tape, so it's a lot easier to work with. So now that we have our stickers on, and again, you're just going to want to do one hand at a time, especially working with the stickers. And obviously you don't want to try painting the other hand with a wet hand, because you're definitely going to mess up your other hand, because I have been there numerous times trying to go, oh, let's just get this done real quick. I do this all the time. I should be able to do it without making any mistakes. Wrong. So I'm just going to shake up my nail polish. So today I'm using polish. I got this from the company itself. I ordered it on their website. And I also got this orange one. So I was like, oh yes, I remember ordering these for Halloween last year. So they have been sitting for quite a while. So they have to be shook up pretty good, because they were definitely separated in there. And you don't want that either. So next, when I do mine too, what I tend to do is wipe off one side only, because I don't want polish on both sides, because I'm really only using the one side to paint my nail. And I don't want it too heavy either, because I don't want giant globs of nail polish dripping all over my hand either, because then it's going to start running all over you. So I dip it and I wipe off one side. And now I'm going to paint my nail up to that white tape that we stuck on there. And I'm going to go as slow as I can. Try not to get it all over my skin. But it's okay if we do make a boo-boo, because I do it all the time. Just try not to go past the top of the white tape. Now, I made a little boo-boo at the bottom of my nail there, and I'm going to show you what I do. Here, I'll make one on the side too. So I'm just going to go over on the side of my nail here a little bit so you can see what I do. Now you want to take this tape off right away. You don't want to let the nail polish dry. So take it off right away and pull towards the polish, not away from it, pull towards it. Hence another reason why I keep this down, because then I just stick them to the paper towel and I'm not getting polish on anything. So I did get a little piece up here. Okay, so before it dries real quick, what I do when I get a little bit of nail polish is I take a Q-tip, I just take a toothpick and I run it around the area where I might have put the nail polish on a little too thick and it kind of spilled over onto my skin. So I'll run it through there just like that, like right up along the edge there and stuff. That way you're kind of not having the nail polish like on the skin too. And then you're sitting there trying to do this to peel the skin and your nail apart, because you kind of nail polished them together basically. And I'm sorry for the shaking. I can't help it. So I hope it's not messing you guys up by seeing what I'm doing. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to go over your nail polish too many times, because then it's going to start drying and then it's going to start getting all gunky and messy. And you're going to be like, well, why is my nail polish not going on smooth? Get off my finger. Next one. See, I kind of put that one on a little too thick, so how runny it was. So I have to be careful because I don't want it to run over the sides of my nail. You take your time, less cleanup. That's what I always say. Yeah, I definitely made a mess there. And if you put way too much nail polish on, it takes twice as long to dry. So we definitely don't want that either. Use tweezers to pull these off because my nails are a little too long. It makes it harder. See, and it just gives you a nice crisp line. So that's where we're going to put our orange for our Halloween French mani. And I know all these weird funky manicures and things are in now for the French manicures, but you know, Halloween is my favorite time of the year. Besides the weather. In New York, you never know if it's going to be 70 and beautiful outside, or if we're going to have 7 feet of snow on Halloween, or if it's going to be raining like a hurricane is coming. So you never know what kind of weather you're going to get. That's the only thing that stinks. Nothing like trick-or-treating in the winter, or trick-or-treating in your costume and you got to wear a big, huge, heavy winter jacket. Kind of stinks. Wish I lived in a warmer state. And last one. I'll tell you, these sticker things, they're so cheap too. I mean, you could get a whole package of them for a couple bucks on Amazon. But they make it so much easier when you want to do a cool design. Okay, so now we have one hand that is halfway done already now. So I'm going to let this dry again, just like I did with the base coat. I'm going to let it dry. I want to make sure it's real good and dry, because if you try to put a sticker on here, because I don't have the steady hand to freehand the orange on, if you try to do it with another sticker on top of the purple to stop the orange and the purple from bleeding together, so you have the nice crisp lines like a French manicure. Once you put that nail sticker on, that purple, and it's not dry all the way, and you go to peel it off, it's going to peel your purple off too. So I will see you guys in a millisecond, and probably about 20 minutes for me, okay? All right, guys. Now we're going to move on to the orange. So I said the orange is from the same brand, Polish. This is the color Dreamsicle. The purple one was the color Any Place, Anytime. I did get these last year, so I don't know if they're still available. But if they are, I will link the website down in the description box in case you want to see what other colors they have. I like these polishes. They work pretty good. I like the brushes on them too. So I'm just going to give that a shake. So now what I'm going to do is, because I don't have a very steady hand anymore, I'm just going to go back to my nail stickers again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the sticker right on the edge of where we did that purple. This is why you have to make sure it's really dry, because if you don't, these tend to like to peel off the paint, which is not a huge deal. We can always fix it because it does happen to me still. You just have to make sure you get them on there right and not crooked. Okay, so we're going to take our orange now. And we're just going to do the same thing, but now we're going to do it on the top, above the sticker. So we're going to put a nice coat on there. Like I said, it's okay if you get some on the sticker, just don't go over the sticker onto the purple. Okay, that's the next step. So now we let that dry. And then there's 2 more steps after that and we're done. All right, guys, both hands are done. We have cute Halloween color French manicure. Now, this next step is optional, but I want to do it, so you don't have to if you don't want to. You could just take your top coat and go over this and then be done. But I want to add a little sparkle to mine. So I'm going to take this Sally Hansen Hard as Nails, and I think this is the color, it's called Disco Ball. So it's like a clear shimmer, just to give a little sparkle to my nails. Even though I complain about taking off glitter polish, I still do it all the time anyway. So I'm just going to lightly glaze over my nails. And you don't want to go over them, and especially in the same spot too many times, because it will cause the other nail polish to get wet again, and it will make it smear and spread. So just one quick thick layer. Don't push really hard, push gently, like you're barely touching the nail. And it just gives it a little bit of dimension. A little extra pizzazz. And there we go. Cute little sparkly, very easy home manicure for Halloween. And then you just let the glitter, if you did the glitter top coat, then you can just let it dry. Let it dry and then go over it with a clear top coat once it's dry. So I like to use the quick dry one when I do that, because you don't want that rough texture from the sparkle that we put on there, the glitter, because you're going to feel that and it's going to be all rough. It's just a very simple, very basic, easy technique. And you can do this. You got this. I mean, look at how cute these are. Thank you. Thank you for the views that I've gotten so far. Even if I got one view on a video, it means the world to me. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I did not think that I would ever even get one view on a video. Ever. You know, so I'm so grateful from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate it. And I just can't tell you how much you guys mean to me. And I hope you enjoy some of the things that you're seeing. If you want to see other things, let me know in the comments. You know, as long as it's within my capability of doing it, I would love to give you guys what you're looking for. So if you're looking for something specific, let me know. Okay, just write it down there in the comments, you know. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It's free. You don't have to do anything, okay? And I will see you guys on my next video. I love you. Bye-bye.